Yo, yo. Welcome to episode number 33 of Red River Podcast. If you're listening to this in the future, it doesn't matter, but for us, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
We had on...
weeks.
It's been... I don't
3
know.
weeks?
It feels longer.
It does.
It's been 5 weeks for me, so...
Oh, yeah. That's
Has
right.
it been?
Probably about 3 for you guys.
Oh, we had 2 movie stars on.
Yeah.
You know, the 2 Damiens. I don't know how that worked out. Damien 1 and Damien 2. So
Like an Omen little...
Well, one had an E, which I prefer the E. Like, if my name was going to be Damien, I need the E. Because I think that's how Damien Thorne spelled it.
I'm going to agree with you.
You know? I know Damien Maffei is
They're
probably...
both good, though. It's not like Brian with a Y. I can't stand that shit. Yeah, when people, like, spell my name, like, is that with a Y? I get fucking mad.
Fucking looking at Brian Maher
Like,
right
what?
now.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I was saying, and I'm thinking of him. Like, what? How do you just assume that? It's a fucking I.
All right, so it's been a minute. I'm sure we've all done a zillion things, and I can't remember a lot of those things. I could remember last week, and let's kill that fucking noise in the back of that thing. So I'm going to start off by saying the Misfits. The Misfits played... I never thought it would happen. You know? Like, I never... And I know, like, I cite the story that you told. I don't remember when it was. But when you were like, I have to pay extra now because Jerry Only's going to be there. And I was just like, God
I
damn.
try not to be like one of those, those fucking guys that were out there like, $130, that's not punk rock. Like,
yeah. So many.
who gives a shit with that? I just, you know what it was? Growing up, Danzig, to me, he would have nothing to do with even being interviewed about the Misfits. Remember, he tried to throw Ricky Rackman in the fire, I think, or something? Like, you couldn't even ask him anything. And so when he agreed to do those initial shows with Doyle, like special guest Danzig and Doyle would come out. I want to say Terminal 5.
I was at the first one. It was Spirit NYC.
Yes, it was. They only did
Blackest of the Black.
Boston, and they did New York. And Doyle came out, and it was fucking ridiculous. That and the 30th anniversary thing of Danzig at the Hammerstein, I believe.
They did it a whole bunch of times, and
So
also
him reuniting with the music to me was like my. I was satisfied with that, I guess, and I just still hate Jerry Only.
I needed a full set. I needed a fucking full set, man. And to have it happen in New Jersey at Prudential in their home state, I just needed it. And the ticket prices were something I can get over because here is a band that, what was their biggest show? Their last show in 1983. Like, what could possibly have been capacity? Like, what, like
A couple of hundred.
250 or something?
Yeah. It's definitely got to be, I mean, for them, completely surreal.
Yeah.
To think back, like, holy shit.
And
look how big this got.
Yeah, so I wanted to be I just wanted to be in the party. I didn't care if I was at the front of the party, the side of the party. I just wanted to be in that venue to say to myself, I waited, from the time I heard Walk Among Us when I was like 13, 14 to like 2018. At the age of 40, I'm like, wow, okay, this is it. Here we go. Death Comes Ripping, first song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it just...
That's what they open with?
Yeah, that's what they open with.
Shit.
And it's just... the whole crowd...
I mean, the video footage I saw, somebody took some great footage.
I saw that
it sounded
too, yeah.
great. Like, it was probably a blast.
Even Lombardo looked like he was fucking into it, which was pretty cool, you know?
Well, Lombardo was weird because I feel like he was almost like too fast or too good for the band.
He's way too
I could
big.
agree with that.
Yeah.
It was
It's
definitely
probably like he's got to think to himself, I can't play.
And he was definitely playing like a little Muppet setup, because I was used to like the Seasons in the Abyss video where it was like 30 rack toms,
Right.
and now he's got this little like 3-piece kit.
Just give me a snare and a kick.
He was ready to go, man.
Yeah.
One drumstick.
Honestly, he probably could have done it with like the bucket that the black kid in front of like the NYC would, he just needed that one he could have done it. Because he was just ahead of them because he was so goddamn fast. And first of all, Doyle. Like, Doyle looks like he ate Doyle from 1983.
Guy's a monster.
Yeah.
But he got bigger.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. How is that even possible? And, like, I can't imagine what... Like, he has a band, and I don't know what the record sounds like.
It sounds like Graves era Misfits kind of songs like that.
Okay.
Like Misfits, but not the Misfits.
And I like
that
it.
makes sense. Yeah.
I just don't know how he's able to record anything when all he does is just punch his guitar. Like, how do you pick that up? Like,
It's an interesting technique. Yeah.
You know,
It's his thing. It's like Pete Townsend and the windmill, you know?
Yeah.
It's just the thing he does.
what does an engineer do with that? It's like, can you stop fucking punching your guitar?
I think he does that in the studio. He does the punch.
I don't know. You know? All right, so I just didn't give a shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Fuck it. I'm at
I
the
bet
party.
it was awesome. Yeah.
You know, we all got dressed up in like 3-piece suits, and we didn't. But I wanted to go, and I couldn't justify spending $300 for general admission. But like I said, I just wanted to be involved, and I knew that we were going to take a
Wait,
bus.
the floor was $300?
The floor was $300.
Ooh. I
Wow.
didn't know that.
I paid $150 for my seat.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Worth every penny.
The fuck, man.
It was worth every goddamn
Wow.
penny.
Yeah.
But the people
Good
downstairs.
show, too. Suicidal,
Yeah.
Murphy's Law.
It started off with Harley
Mm-hmm.
Flanagan from the Cro-Mags. He did 20 minutes, and then from there,
What do you do, Cro-Mags songs?
we actually got there at 7:05, and he played from 7 to 7:20.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And then Murphy's Law, which I mean, you know, once again, something I never got into. I hear Hugo laughing. He was just like, "Oh, great! Now I could hear about how you never got into that." So they did a set, and you're a hardcore band, and you're playing to an arena. Like, it's so like. And Jimmy G didn't miss a beat because he's so good. He's so good that he engages everyone.
He's a great frontman.
And it has to be completely bizarre. Like, I don't know. I'm sure they played something like that somewhere at some festival.
Europe.
Yeah. And they did great. They did, you know, like a 30-minute set. And I don't know. I thought they did a great job. Like I said, I don't know too many of the songs. And then Suicidal played, and they killed. They fucking came out. And it sounded like 1987, aside from like No Rocky George.
Damn.
Like they fucking, like Mike Muir assembled like I feel like he went to like San Quentin and asked 4 prisoners what if any of them played, like, because every time he assembles a new band, they all look like they just came out of prison.
Yeah,
you
big
know?
time.
Yeah. So it's completely like 4 Rick Jimenez's.
I saw them in Patchogue with DRI, and they weren't that good.
Oh, really?
But mainly because the sound was bad.
The sound at that place that you're talking about, I know the place in Patchogue.
It's closed
the big
now.
one.
Emporium?
Yeah,
Emporium.
It's a steakhouse or some shit. now,
Not
something.
not good sound.
No.
Not good sound.
DRI was killer. Just I don't know.
Why are you throwing my theory out the window?
They had a better show when you saw them. You know, it happens. Everyone's got their off night.
Yeah, they killed it. And, you know, Mike Muir was doing his thing. And from where I was sitting, the sound was terrible. And the whole time I'm thinking, like, man, I hope they squash the sound for the openers. But like I said, at that point, like where we were sitting, it was just bad sound.
Suicidal was probably playing all the hits too, right? Would they get
played
a half hour or something? Probably
30. Yeah, I think they.
Yeah.
No, maybe it was a little longer. It might
They
have
got
been
all
like
the
40
good
minutes.
shit, one after another.
One after another, they needed to go in and do their thing. And then the Misfits came on, and we were all fucking psyched. But it's just like from where we were sitting, the sound wasn't great. But watching the videos, because they wouldn't, no phones were allowed. So no phones allowed. But it didn't matter. We were just there, and it
How
was
did
like,
they do that with the phones? Like,
well,
what?
they make you put it in this like case that is like magnet opened, and you need to go to an air. I don't know. I left my phone in the van,
Right.
so I didn't really give a shit. Like all of us left our phones, and you know, but that's it. It's like you waited all this time. They fucking do everything. They played like over an hour, which is like 100
That must
songs.
have been all their songs.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they even got to an hour.
Well,
With Lombardo playing.
supposedly, We Are 138 was the last song, and they didn't get to it because they went over on time. And that was it, man. Like, we just, like, so many people complaining. Even, like, one or two of the people that we went with, they were just like, oh, that show was terrible. I don't know. I don't know what these people expect. Like, it was just...
It looked like a lot of fun to me.
It was a lot of fun. It was just cool to hang out with everyone, and it was like a whole arena full of people, you know, singing Skulls.
Right.
Die, Die, My Darling, Astro Zombies. Like, this
Danzig
is what...
was probably letting the crowd sing a lot, right? He looked like he was breathing heavy for a couple of minutes.
And another fucked up thing is we found out his mom died that day.
Oh,
Wow.
And he didn't cancel the show.
That's surprising.
Yeah. She was 90.
If it was a Danzig like solo tour, that show would have been canceled.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you can't holy shit, you can't Axl Rose that.
No, not for that amount of people.
No. You know, but that's when we found out, we're like, holy shit. Like, I couldn't believe it. But overall, it was just fucking great. It was just awesome. Everyone wore their Misfits shirt there. Everyone was that guy at the show. Yeah. Completely.
I think Roy was saying that.
It was very accurate. It was fun to see everyone there.
Right.
A lot of people, as we're walking through the halls, we're like, hey.
What were they selling shirts for, by the way?
I didn't even look. I think it was like $35.
That's not bad at all.
Not bad at all, but like I didn't really give a shit, It's like you can get those shirts wherever.
Yeah.
And then
it's all about the logo, though.
Fast forwarding to Eddie Trunk.
Yeah.
Eddie fucking Trunk. Did you hear that clip?
I did. I listened to it.
You listened to the whole thing?
It kind of infuriated me.
It made me so angry.
It infuriated because he sounded like what I got out of it. He sounded like a spoiled kid who I guess didn't get picked for a team. That's what I got out of it. He was crying, blah, blah, blah. Why is this band that and this band this? And I felt like calling the guy and just being like, bro, like, I'm sorry that nobody gave a fuck about UFO then or now, and they will never sell out an arena.
Or they did.
Or
not now, though.
That, exactly.
But like he's doing like signings and like he's like announcing bands. Like I was listening to the podcast today. And who was it? It
I
was
don't know
somebody.
How you do it? I don't think I could listen. Someone would be dead.
Yeah.
I've had a long time hating
even the
dude.
other guy that was in the room with him, he was like snapping at him. He's like, "I'm getting to that part. I'm getting to that part."
Not even that guy's a fucking moron too.
I've accepted he's got like bad taste in a lot of music and all that, but he knows a lot about it. But you don't know anything. Zero about punk. Nothing. So and now you're going to talk with this tone like you know what the fuck's up? Are you serious? Of one of the most beloved bands
One of the most beloved bands, and he like wrote it off as a fluke. Like Metallica covered one of their songs. They didn't even get it right.
Getting mad right
they were
now,
like,
ridiculous.
"Oh, what was the Metallica did a cover?" And the guy was like, "Die, My Darling," and he was like, "Yeah, that." And it wasn't even that. It was on Garage Days. It was Last Caress and Green Hell.
Yep.
And they were just like, it just like every minute that went by, I was like, how could I tweet this guy? How could I get him on Instagram? I'm just going to bash him so hard.
There's no question that skull has been marketed to perfection, of Kiss level perfection.
Absolutely.
And there's no question that Metallica definitely blew them up a little bit.
It was the first time I heard the Misfits was through Metallica.
Right. No question. But to deny that, like, that it's just some, their existence, or that it's just some one-off fluke without no idea how legendary they were.
I remember buying a patch of that skull off of, what was that website, Rockabilia or whatever it was called. I think I was in like 8th or 9th grade. I had no fucking clue who they were, but I was like, oh, that's a cool looking skull. And I just because I saw it on like I think Cliff Burton's vest or something. Just
it's
an old
from
picture.
an old black and
fast
white
forward
movie,
to and fast forward to 2010. He listened.
That's right.
But he went on to say that it was this fluke and it was some kind of phenomenon that happened, and everyone there, for the most part, had no idea what the songs are. And I'm thinking, like, the ticket prices were enough to make fucking lifelong fans not go. So you're telling me...
I've been listening to them since, like, 1986. Not to be like, but...
You're old, we get it.
And I didn't go. I was like, all right, But someone's just going to be like, fuck it. I got 100. Who are these guys
Not
again?
even 300 for general admission. It's like, how much? Oh, that band that's playing that show with the skull thing? Yeah, they're
how much? 100?
$300.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Yeah. I can't name 3 songs, but Metallica covered one of their songs. Like, is he out of his... Like, I wish... He must have gotten slammed.
How can they sell out that arena? I mean, Miles Kennedy wasn't even there.
I know. Yo, he was like talking about how and Miles Kennedy is fucking talented.
It's like the only guy like he knows. He's always talking about.
But he is talking about like doing stuff with Stryper in like Oklahoma, and I'm thinking like, are you?
I get that that's his wheelhouse, and keep that shit.
Keep
Stay
it.
in your lane.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't wander over here because he did. He got flamed all over like Twitter everywhere. I don't think he's going to acknowledge anything.
Listen, I hate Fish. I think they're the worst band on the planet next to like the Grateful Dead. But I could sit here and think to myself like, okay, they sold out 13 nights in a row, MSG, because they have a fan base. Someone loves them. I could acknowledge that and be like, hey, it's not my thing, but these guys sold 13 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and think like, oh, well, you know, it's the Grateful Dead and
it's a fluke.
It's a fluke. Like, no,
nights.
I would just shut the fuck up and talk about something else, you know. And I get it. He has like he has to fill time, but he could have like talked for like a minute and been like, "Yeah, man, I just never liked the Misfits, never got into it."
I was shocked they sold out a place that big.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah, but hey,
no,
what
he
about-
can't do that
No.
because he's an arrogant fucking asshole. Always was.
Yeah.
And did you see on Ian Christie's page? I was writing to him. And I was
Yeah.
like, I wish they would reshoot that metal show with you in place of him. And he wrote back that he was doing a lot of work for VH1 and MTV at the time, and they were going to relaunch the show with him as the host.
He would be
I was like,
perfect.
holy fuck! But
Because
it didn't happen. I was like,
That guy does Sounds of the Beast.
yeah.
So there was a show on like Sirius,
Mm-hmm.
and he would just like have these like it was almost like that Sam Dunn thing, like where they would talk about like subgenres of metal,
Sure.
and then he would like he was so goddamn knowledgeable on everything.
Everything. It's insane, man. I've listened to his show, and like he was playing like a Slipknot track like years ago. Shout out to Todd. But Slipknot has a DJ, and one of their songs has a drum and bass song drop in it, and it came back, and Ian Christie's on the mic, and he knew the I like drum and bass, so I know those songs. But he knew the record that they were sampling in the beginning of it, like of a British jungle song. I'm like, holy fuck.
The metal Matt Pinfield.
Yeah.
That's it.
Easy.
And another thing that rubbed me, and because I loved that metal show, I would watch it.
Of course. I love it too, and I love to complain about it, but I love it.
Me too. And what rubbed me the wrong way, really, about Eddie Trunk was when he fucking shit on Anthrax for working with Public Enemy.
Really?
Like, yeah, he totally fucking did. He was just like, oh, you know, like, I just don't like fucking rap and this. And it's like, shut the fuck up.
Wow.
Like, shut the fuck up, you fucking herb. You know?
He is a herb. His knowledge stopped of music.
He
Like, it
has
stopped.
knowledge.
But
It's
it
just
stopped at a certain age point.
he's
That's
like Stern.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Stern can't talk about music past like, you know, like what his teenage years.
That's why I like Christy better, because he can talk about the old shit, and he's still growing, like knowing all these obscure, like Swedish death metal. Like he's always listening to shit.
He's treating it like it's his fucking job
Exactly.
completely, and
But
like
Eddie Trunk, like post, you know, I don't know what was the band that ended. Like anything Tesla, when Tesla stopped making records, like I give up.
after
brutal.
Psychotic Supper,
Nice.
Parker's gonna go see Tom Kiefer.
I am. I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited about
Cinderella's awesome.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was
Wait,
thinking.
Tom Key, does he have
This-
a band,
no,
or is it
yeah,
like
it's
an
a- yeah,
evening
it's a
with,
Tom-
and he's
no,
on a
well, no,
bar
it's-
stool
it's-
and shit?
It's the band, but you know, I was talking to Neil Rubenstein about that because he booked them twice in the Emporium. We were talking about that earlier, and he said it's a killer show. He goes, dude, you'll have a blast. He plays all the hits, blah blah blah. And then, funny enough, that got me to like thinking about something else. You know, because obviously, like with him, he was the front man of Cinderella. Like I couldn't even name anybody else in that band, so he kind of like was Cinderella to me. And earlier today, I was listening to Helmet, who still puts out music. And I guess me being a drummer, from a drummer's standpoint, although Paige Hamilton is the main singer-songwriter, I just never got over when John Strainer left. So I just never kind of, I don't want to say gave a shit about them after that.
Right.
But I guess, like, you know, the thing with Tom Kiefer is I kind of based him as the guy from Cinderella. So, you know.
You're not into Fred Cupcake Curry?
Yeah, you know.
He filled in for Steven Adler when he broke his hand on was it the Appetite tour, I guess?
Yep.
Yeah. He almost got the gig, I think.
Funny enough, to bring it back to Cinderella, I'm going to go see the Iron Maidens, which I just saw a couple of weeks ago at Blackthorn 51. It's an all-female tribute band to Maiden from California. They're playing with Judas Priestess and Dio cover band, and the opening band is two guys, and this is how it's billed. You know, Paul and whoever from Bret Michaels' band. And the third guy is Eric Brittenham from Cinderella.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the blonde-haired girl, right?
The
So that's what,
He
the
was
bass
hot.
player?
bass player. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The least important part.
Yeah.
There's Jeff
I'm
LaBar.
curious Jeff LeBar. Wow.
Jeff LeBar,
Good
Fred
for
Cupcake
you.
Curry, Tom Kiefer.
What's with the cupcake?
Nah.
Where did you get that
That's
from?
his nickname.
Really?
Cupcake.
Is there a story behind that?
I don't know.
I got to
Ricky
read the
Rackham-
book. I
That
gotta find
guitarist
book.
used to like fire karate kicks too when he would play like on like the Gypsy Road video
I
and
forgot
shit.
what he does.
Yeah, I'm
now.
curious
Oh, he's a
that-
chef. He's a chef. now.
I'm
that's
curious to hear how his voice holds up. Because you wouldn't think he would have made it this long.
Funny enough, so I was
That was rough.
Yeah, I was YouTubing because I thought the same thing. I'm just like, fuck that, because he's had what, like 4 throat surgeries
Has
or
he?
something.
Did, yeah.
He's had a bunch of them. So I
Yeah.
typed in, I don't know, it was like "Save Me" or one of their fucking hits or whatever, and that newer band Hailstorm or whatever, which I couldn't even name one fucking song from them. They covered one of his songs in his hometown, and he actually came out and sang with them. They did "Nobody's Fool," which I love. That's a great song.
Great song.
And you could definitely see that he was struggling
Right.
to hit the notes, so she kind of covered him a little bit. But I'll still fucking go. It'll still
Plays
be
with his wife.
yeah,
I heard.
it'll still be a good time, you know.
He might be like Lemmy. Just the voice is rough, but it's just
Yeah.
gonna.
And
That's
it's just
how it is forever.
And it's just funny because that's a busy weekend for me. I'm going out fucking 2 nights in a row that fucking weekend. So it's
Oh, shit.
Tom Kiefer that night, and then the next night we're going to Philadelphia for this thing called This Is Hardcore Fest, and it's actually a 4-day fest, but we're going just for Saturday. So it's like I'm going to see the guy from Cinderella one night, then the next night I'm going to see like fucking One King Down and For the Love Of and all these Harvest, all these crazy like hardcore bands that I used to tour with, which is pretty
Nice.
cool.
That's cool,
Yeah,
man.
so it should be a good
When
time.
is that?
It's the day after, so that's July 20th, actually. Yeah.
You know what I'll be doing July 20th? That'll be the first day of recording the new Playing Dead record.
There you go.
Awesome.
I'll be over there doing my thing, finalizing my lyrics. Still, it's the worst part of fucking like. I hate recording. It's fucking so
Yeah.
annoying. I love writing songs. I love practicing. I love playing shows. Recording sucks. You know, and
Doing it over and over again. Get
it just
right.
never feels right, and like it's the thing that you have to think about the most because it's the one product that people are going to listen to. Some people might catch you live, but maybe they won't. So it's the only like interpretation that people have that they could listen to constantly. So it's like you got to get it.
That thing you
down.
posted the other day, was that a show you were playing and it came up as the Grateful Dead tribute band?
Okay, so
Is that what that was?
that's the funny thing. So Chris Longito from the Films on Tap dude, he sent me a picture because anytime bands in town, like anytime we're playing somewhere, so we're playing the Knitting Factory on Sunday, it just gets crossed with that Grateful Dead tribute band from fucking, I don't even know, like Massachusetts, I guess.
Sounds right.
It's just like, it kills me. Like, it just
Brutal.
kills me. Any other band, like, I just wish, like, I don't know.
You got to send them a cease and desist, Joe.
well,
You got to
like,
get all Lars Ulrich up on
Yeah.
that guy, yo.
I'm like, you guys play covers. Just stop already. You play cover and of Grateful just so bad. And I like whenever I post that because there's like 1 or 2 hippies that really like want to like shit on me every time I fucking bring that up. So, but so going back to like logos, like we can talk about how important logos are, and logos are. Like who I think Johnny North or somebody brought up like Eddie Maiden. No, it was Jeff Kaplan from Two Man. I completely get it, but I feel like a lot of people didn't hit play on that fucking Eddie Trunk video. So everyone's like talking to like the caption
Yeah.
because it's such a small part of it. It's like, yeah, sure. When I was younger, I bought Killers and I bought might have been Killers. Oh, and Number of the Beast because of the cover. Like the cover looked amazing, so I'm like, I'm going to buy these 2 cassettes. But what kept me there was the fact that they were fucking great or something like really hit
Sure.
me, So same thing with like the
The
Misfits.
music's got to be there.
It's got to
Can't
be
just-
there.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not just T-shirts and album covers and stuff. But yeah, totally. A lot of people probably didn't listen because if you're familiar with hard rock, punk, metal, any of that stuff, and you click play on that, he got it wrong. He fucked up. There's no other interpretation.
Yeah. And of course, like the Crimson Ghost, like you said, it's there. But man, when you listen to that, like those songs just hit you. And I get it. Like, I don't know, for some reason that band hit me, but I've heard people like, oh, it's just too jokey. I guess. I don't know. It's just weird because it's such an important band in my life. And, you listen to those lyrics like to fucking Last Caress and you're like, you're you're killing babies and raping moms and like.
Nobody sounded like them before or really after,
Yeah.
no matter how many people tried. You know?
Yeah.
They're unique as fuck, man.
I saw them like 5 years ago, obviously, like when Jerry Only was the only guy in the band, and it was horrible. It was fucking brutal.
Fuck that
We actually walked out. It was so bad.
Was it the downtown?
No, it was actually during Rock and Shock. So we were at the convention.
Was
and
Jerry Only singing?
Yeah.
I heard he's fucking
Oh, it
brutal.
was so bad. It was so bad. I mean, I'm standing next to Rob Link, and I'm just like, dude, can we go? And he's like, yeah, this is fucking horrible. And we just walked out.
Well, I saw them, the last time I saw them in that incarnation was the downtown, but so it must have been forever ago. And I've seen them before, and they were okay. But for this one, it was bad. Like, the drummer was somewhere else. Like, you could, like... It was
Glenn has to be involved to make that legit. That's it.
Yeah.
In my book, anyway. I mean, I just never was into the grave shit, any of that stuff.
The grave stuff was actually okay. American Psycho has some, like, it's almost like Halloween 3, you know? Like, if you don't call it Halloween 3, you might enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So when you listen to American Psycho, it's, like, some pretty damn good songs. Michael Grave has a great voice.
He has a good voice and
great melodies.
The melodies were there. It was Misfits style and stuff, but I don't know. There's like some wit missing from the lyrics.
No, absolutely,
but was missing.
And it's just a mental block. You see the Misfits, and you're thinking like, I can't. You couldn't like accept it. But if they were called like Jack Burton and the Pork Chop Express, you might just be like, oh, this Jack Burton guy's all right.
It's the fucking drummer Cinderella's new band right there.
Yeah. If they were called Fred Cupcake Curry, you'd be
I gotta know the story behind the cupcake.
I don't know.
I'm sure we could YouTube it. I just remember watching Headbangers Ball.
We'll ask him when he comes on.
We'll go to the
like
library website, order Fred Curry.
I remember, and he would like that was his nickname. I don't know why. I'm sure it's something super manly. You know. So, but another thing I wanted to bring up, which I thought was like one of the coolest videos on YouTube in like the last few weeks, was when Dave Grohl brought up that dude in the Kiss makeup.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that video?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh,
no.
you got to see it.
It's great.
Yeah.
Just smile the whole time. It's amazing.
So yeah, they're playing
Young kid or
young kid. He just happened to be wearing, was it Gene Simmons makeup?
Yeah. Face paint and the whole nine.
Yeah, so I guess, he probably asked who knows how to play the song, and it was Monkey Wrench.
Yeah.
And so this guy raises his hand,
Kiss
and
guy.
he's like, yo, Kiss guy. All right, Kiss guy. So he fucking gives him the guitar. It's so great. You got to just, like, Google, Foo Fighters. His name is Yayo Sanchez.
I think he's like a tech or something, right? Isn't he?
I don't know.
Works at Guitar Center or some shit.
Because he killed it. And they...
As soon as he grabbed the instrument, you could see him like, this guy can fucking play. The way he's walking around and shit. And just
around, and like Dave Grohl, I mean, he just ate it up. The whole band, they extended it, and they were just like,
they
come
were
on.
having breakdowns and shit.
Yeah.
He's playing, so they were giving him solos and shit.
He was
all over the stage. He's standing next to
it was
the
like
whole band.
One of the best videos I've ever seen, because like I smiled for like 8 minutes. It's like about an 8-minute video.
It was great.
And you're thinking like, it's just lightning in a bottle.
Sure.
And you... I hate
like Marky Mark and Rockstar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He might have replaced whoever's playing guitar now.
Steel Dragon.
Yeah, actually, they might have just added another one, because I'm sure they're up to
they have like,
7.
holy shit. Yeah, they got like 4 guitars or something.
So Pat Smear.
Oh, real quick, going back to the Misfit show, I did notice, via the videos, obviously, because I wasn't $300 general admission, that there was another guitarist on stage. Did they ever say who that guy was?
AC something. I don't know. AC Slater.
Nice.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be.
I would have paid the $150 for that.
That's where the money went. Just some guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's 8.
I think he used to be in the Murder Dolls.
Oh, no
something.
shit.
I want to say that. I could be wrong. And
yeah,
will be corrected.
He looked old and weathered, so I'm sure he's done.
It was funny, though, because I saw him, like, walking, I mean, he didn't have that much room to walk around or whatever, but he was, like, shirtless and, like, doing the backups and shit. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Tom Kiefer.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. Now I know what I got to look forward to.
You figure fucking Doyle was too busy punching his fucking guitar. So it's like, no worries, man. I'll fucking play this. But yeah, just if you watch that video, it's fucking great. The Yayo, whatever.
Yeah,
it's lightning
stuff.
in a bottle. I really loved when they said they were going to take away the phones at the Misfits. I didn't love it because like you can't meet up with people, but it is annoying to basically stand behind people. That it's like, all right, take a picture, maybe take a clip. Some people just stand there with a phone, like taping the whole show. I'm
gonna do a public service announcement right now. Nobody wants to see your shitty, horribly sounding video online. Nobody wants to see it, and you're never gonna watch it again. You're not gonna be like, you know what? what about that show I went to a year ago? Let me hear it blast through this fucking shitty clock radio speakerphone I got.
This is the reason you need to get an upgrade, just so you can get more space with all your shitty videos.
And your pictures look like shit too. They just look like, I mean, not everyone, not all of them, but it's just big blasts of light and shit like that, and you're holding it right in front of your face.
So, but for an instance like this, it was lightning in a bottle at that Foo Fighters show, and somebody caught it, and I thought it was super cool.
Yes. It's a great video.
So speaking of lightning in a bottle, I just want to talk about this one video
that on YouTube.
Yeah, it wasn't on YouTube, but so this is a regional thing if you're listening to this from anywhere else. And we have I guess a town, and the name of the town just happens to be Port Jeff.
Station.
I
gotta clarify.
Was it Port Jeff Station?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Please.
Maybe. Okay.
You throw a station at the end of
anything,
Huntington Station, it just changes the whole
just
game.
Different, yeah. People just make less money, and they while out a little bit more. That's all.
Yep.
And there was a video there, and there was 4 people involved. I dubbed it the Port Jeff 4, or the PJ 4. And if you can, you could look it up.
Yeah.
Just Google Port Jeff.
Did that catch on?
Bus stop
4?
sex? No, I don't know. I wanted to. So
it's on Pornhub.
In this video, my friend Jerry sent it to me on Facebook. And when I first watched it, I was just angry. I was like, why would you send me that? Like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. And in this video, there's a guy having sex with this girl at a bus stop. And in broad daylight, like at a bus stop.
Yeah.
Like, like you're...
Busy street,
just picture... when you're sitting waiting for a bus, what do? Like during the day, it's like you look through your phone, you drink something, eat something. These two decided to basically have sex. The girl was completely fat and wasted. I could say fat because I'm fat, not wasted. And when I rewatched it again, I realized like the brilliance of the video. There was 4 people involved, and the gentleman banging the heavyset gal was wearing a party animal T-shirt
from the Muppets.
Yeah. And I realized there's never been a more accurate T-shirt than this. I realized that he had a missing hand, so he chopped his hand off somewhere. Never
anything.
Never dropped a cigarette. And I wasn't waiting for a cum shot.
Got one.
But I got one. And the girl fell forward, and this guy shot a load that was just like Peter North.
Ropes.
It was a rope. And I was not ready for it, but, it was what it was, and I guess he shot a load on her back. The whole time they're hanging out with another friend of theirs who's going through her bag for whatever reason, and he's trying to win the award for minding one's business. Like he just didn't
even... He was going through her purse, wasn't he?
He was going through her purse, but he didn't look up. He didn't do anything. He was just sitting there, and he was just like, I'm going to let these 2 people bang, and that's it. And the whole time, somebody's filming it from like across the street. 2 herbs, because somewhere along the way, like one of them's like, should we call the cops, man? Should we call? And I'm thinking like, what are you gonna say? You're like, there's 2 people banging and one of them just came. You gotta get here. Like, shut the fuck up, film it, and put it out to the world.
Give it to Jerry.
You caught lightning in a bottle. And it ended up with this guy riding on a bicycle, and I guess he knew the girl, and he hugged her for whatever reason. I don't know what the fuck this girl said. Big mistake. And in the video, like after he hugs her, he looks at his hand because he definitely smeared that dude's load. And it's amazing.
You know what was missing from that?
His hand?
If they froze it up with him looking at his hand and they played the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme.
Yeah. That's it. It's the most unintentionally funny video of the year because there's 4 people and it's like an X-rated Seinfeld. You got to watch it. And another video that happened, which I thought was fantastic, was this. It was a little shorter, and this lady was at some.
I can't remember. It's a store in Canada. I want to say it's like a coffee kind of place, but Canadian chain.
Yeah.
The Starbucks of Canada. Man.
Yeah. So basically,
if I Will.
This lady needed to use the bathroom, and I guess the guy was probably like, hey, you need to buy something. And she...
Well, he did say after the fact, sorry to interrupt, that they've had problems with her before. Not to this level, but go ahead.
Okay. So, the video picks up where she's yelling at the cashier guy about something. She walks over, frantically grabs 3 napkins, pulls her pants down, leans against the back wall, and shits on the fucking floor.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, I guess that wasn't enough. She needed to actually pick the shit up and throw it at the cashier.
With a deft quickness, though.
Yo,
just all of it.
Somebody likened it to playing jacks as a kid.
It was like Derek Jeter fielding a grounder at Yankee Stadium, just one-handed.
It was like a shit slinky because she got it all up right away. Threw it at the cashier, and if throwing the shit wasn't enough, she wiped her ass once, threw the paper at the cashier again, wiped her ass twice, threw it at the cashier, and then a third time.
Yeah.
And then wiped it, and then just walked out.
Make sure she was done,
Like a fucking savage. And she went to Pilates class.
I got to tell you, I feel for this girl, though, because I was out, food shopping this weekend, and people were so fucking annoying this time of year in the summertime. And I was like, you know what? I get this girl. I could see myself taking a shit right now in the soda aisle and just throwing at all these motherfuckers.
She was like
my
Douglas.
Spirit animal for that fucking moment.
She was like Michael Douglas and falling down,
Yes.
Instead of that bat.
You're not going to serve me breakfast that's past 12 o'clock?
Yeah.
I'll shit on the floor and throw it at you.
Seriously, you have to almost respect someone who is that uninhibited to just be like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah, who would you be more scared of? Someone with a gun or someone that's willing to pick up their shit and throw it at you? Shit on the floor and throw it at you. That guy is way more touched.
Yeah. I feel like I'd rather get shot with a bullet.
No question.
Than to get that lady's fucking shit slinky on me.
I'll take my chances with a bullet. It's shit, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than shit.
You know what it is, too, with a gun? You could probably get more sympathy with a gunshot bullet. No one's going to give you sympathy if they throw shit at you and it lands on you. They're going to be
send you a card.
Yeah, they're just going to be like,
thinking of you.
They're going to be like, that's disgusting. You got shit all over you. But if you get shot, you'll get sympathy.
They'll probably think different of you. You might not want to hang out with you.
Yeah, no, you watch the video. Those are two video recommendations of
5-star locks of the week.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. So, another thing that I wanted to talk about was a show that got canceled, and I was trying to push it. Did you watch the Alex Inc?
No.
Zach Braff?
No.
You know what it is?
I hate that guy. That's probably why I didn't see it. But go ahead.
I love Scrubs, and I love Garden State, and I we're so engulfed in this podcast world the last year or so, because so many people are either starting a podcast or they listen to it or they're promoting it. So Zach Braff has a show and he's pushing it. It's called Alex Inc. And this guy, he plays this dude who quits his job and starts a podcast network. And I wanted to root for it so bad. I was like, you know what? This is it, man. I wanted to kind of just give him that head nod, hey, man, hey, man, we have a podcast too. And I watched the show and it was annoying. And
what was it on?
Channel 7?
Oh, it was on Network TV.
Network TV.
It was. I think it was after the Goldbergs, wasn't it? Because I think that's when I started seeing the previews for it.
Solid lead-in.
Yeah. I've got nothing but good things to say about that fucking show.
Goldbergs is...
I cry laughing every week watching that.
I like the older episodes more. The newer stuff doesn't hit me as much, but the first few seasons, the connections to everything. Who's going to be on there? I got to watch that. They were getting Rick Moranis to revise.
Possibly.
Oh, it wasn't for real?
They never show a face.
Oh.
Yeah, so it could have been him.
What character?
From Spaceballs.
Yes.
The whole episode was about Spaceballs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I won't ruin it, but the last scene,
so you did see it.
There's a guy as Dark Helmet, but he never, flips up the mask or anything. So, could have been him.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, but I wanted to like the show. I wanted to push it, and what I noticed about liking Scrubs and championing it and talking about Zach Braff is how many people hate him.
Yeah.
My girlfriend hates that show.
I mean, it's not like Eddie Trunk levels of hatred, but it's close.
I always get like him and like Zac Efron mixed up.
I didn't like Garden State at all. I thought it was I don't know. It was just such a stab at this pretentious indie thing, but it didn't have the meat to back it up or the script. I don't know. I just did not care for it, and he's just got a fucking punchable face. If I want to break it down right now.
And he does one of those things that like Vince Vaughn would do. He would play Vince Vaughn in every movie. So like Zach Braff was doing the same, like JD from Scrubs thing. Like he's doing that.
Right.
It's just, and I guess to some extent you're still you even if you're an actor, but like he was bringing like a little too much of it.
Yes.
And the thing that bothered me the most was his kid. His kid just like was like, I don't know, maybe 10, 11, 12. I just want to beat the shit out of his kid. So, and then once they canceled it, I'm like, I was 4 episodes in, and I just...
There was something else he did that irked me too. I think it was like he was he crowdfunding for a movie he was trying to put together?
Yes.
Oh, and it was fucking some movie. Was he like drive across the country with like his kid or something? Learns a lot about himself and all. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Yeah. You're asking me for money? Fuck you.
Wish I was here. Wish it was something like that.
Douche chills, man.
Yeah.
But hey, to each their own.
Yeah.
So
fuck do I know?
let's talk about that idea that we wanted to do with the double feature. So today. It was really the anniversary of Final Girls. So when we did the Final Girls thing with the other, like long story short, like
great horror movie if you haven't seen it.
So good.
What year did that come out? 2016?
2015, but like we didn't start watching it until 2016, so it was like kind of, I think it got some release, but it didn't really hit people till 2016.
There was never been anyone that like I told to watch it that didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It nice. Worked. It was just really good. Like, anyway, Final Girls was great. I was on a podcast before we had this podcast, and we decided we were gonna talk to the director, and then this dude Pete had the idea to do a screening. Worked out. We did it. It sold it out in Patchogue. So when those on this day moments happen on Facebook, people started talking about it. They're like, oh, you guys, Red River now should do something like that. Nate Vanderwerker, my friend who lives in Oregon, was like, yo, you should do Terrifier and Strangers double feature. And I was like, yeah. And I like let it sit for a day. And then today I was at work and I was like, hey, you know what we should do?
I got an idea.
I got an idea. And then I said it and he was like, that was my idea. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Okay. Yeah. All right. It's fine.
What do you mean?
Yeah. It's going to be my fucking legwork, though. So I want to reach out to the guys that I have to reach out to. I think it would be super cool if, like, sometime in August of 2018, we do a double feature. I feel like Terrifier, being that it's such a, like, indie fucking release, would be a lot easier to get those rights because there's, like, a lot of weird red tape that we had to do. Also with Final Girls, like... The way they broke it down was like percentages. So if we charged $5 at the door, it was a certain amount of money. But if we charged $10, it was just some weird shit the way they worked it out. We obviously just wanted to break even, or even if we lost money,
right.
It was just for a night.
For fun.
It was like a fun thing. It's like, oh, let's just throw this party. We'll do like a double feature. So I'm talking to Mike Ciani, who does retro pictures over at Cinema Arts Center, Matt Roran, and then Damien from episode 31, Damien from episode 32. And I don't know. I think we're going to do it. I think it'll be fun. I'm going to look for August, and I think it would be fun to kind of just get everyone in a room, like if we do like 100 people or whatever we could do to watch these two movies. They're super different.
Yep.
But I think it would
all
be
solid though.
It would be really cool to watch. I saw
The Strangers
in the theater, but it would be really fun to watch Terrifier on a big screen with people who have never seen it.
Definitely.
So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah, definitely. So, what do you have over there?
I was looking at my notes. Hopefully, we could not do August 18th because I'll be at Monster Mania for that. So
Guys,
let's do some other day. I got my tickets for that.
And
be hanging out with Dan Turr. Yeah.
And the main guest,
England,
that you're
man,
going for Robert England.
Got to meet my boy England. I never met him.
signed?
So him and Nick Castle, the original Shape.
What's the Nightmare on Elm Street item you're getting signed?
I don't know. I've been trying to find something good. I mean, you could go for like the generic glove or the mask or whatever. I used to have the record, the Freddy Krueger's Greatest Hits. But I got it's like him like singing like the Hokey Pokey and shit. It's horrible.
The fuck outta
It's
here,
fucking
really?
horrible. Yeah. Well, somebody re-released it, but me, I fucking hate re-releases, so I got to find like the fucking like $300 one and just be like an asshole about it.
Anything to not get that mic stand.
That's it, man. That's it. But no, it's a fucking good lineup. I mean, everybody from fucking Rob Schneider to like WWF wrestlers. But I mean,
Punch that guy in the face.
Schneider.
Yeah, I hate that guy.
Do you? I like it. He's like a win-lose. There's never
I
like
him.
Yeah, there's never like a middle guy.
I like him. So what'd you get signed over there? That
Oh
CD?
man, well that was from it's funny. So I went to this Kiss Con in Plainview.
Yes, that's what it was.
By myself, which was hysterical because Sarah was just like, I fucking hate Kiss, I hate you, like go fuck yourself and go to.
Sounds
this
like
thing.
Karen.
Yeah.
How many people were at this event?
Well, so I show up. First of all, I pass the fucking thing because it's on the left. So I turn around and I'm like, holy shit, this thing is packed. Which I knew it was going to be because Kiss is just like. It's just name recognition, Everybody fucking goes there because of Kiss. So I park and I start walking in or whatever, and the first thing that I see is kind of like a newer version of like a Batmobile that some guy had there. It was pretty cool looking or whatever, so I took some pictures of that. And then in front of that, there was an old school hearse that this guy had painted literally every member of Kiss, like I'm talking even Mark St. I'm talking even basketball Kiss members made it. Like Mark St. John made this shit. So
can we just like tell people what basketball Kiss is?
Basketball jersey Kiss is like that's like hot in the shade, like crazy nights, like that shit. Yeah, that's basketball jersey Kiss.
Why is it bad?
Like when
I'm not
because Paul Stanley at one point used to wear basketball jerseys
did he?
to show off his like manly hairy chest. When he like when he was like singing like that forever Michael Bolton song that he wrote.
I feel like no matter what he wears, that chest hair is gonna be like he'd be wearing a turtleneck.
There's no fighting that back.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's fucking 100% beefcake.
And he's got like that
fucking hairy chest.
And he's got like that tiny rose tattoo, which you need
can't see it through the
a
hair,
microscope. Yeah,
it is
like a fucking gorilla.
it's like microscopic. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
What is that thing? It's just like a
He was
little
badass.
fucking thing. And it's like, I mean, listen, he's banged a zillion girls, and good for him.
He could give a shit without
He can give a shit about it, but like,
I just find it, I can't get enough of like memes of him and Steven Tyler, how much they look like old ladies.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Steven Tyler looks like an old lady. He does. He does.
So I walk into this thing, and there's a crowd of people, paying and getting wristbands and everything.
What was the cover?
It was $20.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be $25 at the door, but I was like, fuck it, $20. I'll just fucking walk around or whatever. So I go to the first room, and the first thing that I see, it's just like no fucking like dollar bin for this fucking thing. A fucking Gene Simmons like custom axe base, $5,000 is the first fucking thing that I see. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like who's walking around with this amount of money or whatever? So I leave that room. That's like the expensive fucking room. And then I go into like the main room. So then they had everything from like posters to like the vinyl. There was actually like a live band playing, which was pretty cool.
What was the male to female ratio? Like 25-1?
Oh, it was all dudes. Yeah. It was all like fat, like hairy old dudes. It was great.
Malamo said, "What the 50-year-old virgin?"
Yeah.
What was the ratio of like people in full makeup or in outfits?
There wasn't that many, believe it. Like I mean, like I took that one. I sent that one picture. That was the first guy that I saw. But then there was this other guy who was like, he was like the fake Eric Carr I think it was like only with one R because the other Eric Carr, had 2 or whatever. And every time I fucking went to snap a picture, he was staring right at me. I'm like, this fucking dude's creepy, man.
He was
like
dressed like Eric Carr.
Yeah, like the Fox fucking the Fox fucking shoulder pads and everything. But I finally snapped a picture and I posted that or whatever. So then I keep walking around or whatever, and then the first guy that I fucking see, I'm just like, dude, I'm like, that's the fucking guy from the Orphans from the Warriors, like the guy with the afro. That guy's there or whatever. And I'm just like, what the fuck does this guy? I'm like, what does this guy have to do with a fucking Kiss convention or whatever? But he had a line, so he was signing shit or whatever. And then I go into
what does anybody besides Kiss have to do with a Kiss
I know. That's what Sarah said. She's like, wait, so no members are going to be there? She's like, so why the fuck is it at a Kiss convention?
At that point, anyone could be there.
I'm like, I don't know, man. So I go into the other room, and then like one of the artists that did like
how many wrestlers were there?
No, none. That would have been even fucking better.
Shocked.
Yeah, I know.
Warriors guy.
I know.
They wrestlers make it to like every convention.
Yeah.
No matter
Always
what.
there.
Yeah.
It could be a Golden
Greg
Girls
Valentine
convention or
is at
like,
every convention
I love
ever,
it.
and he's drunk.
So I see what's his name. So I can see Carmine Appice, and he's got like 2 people at his table or whatever. And I'm just like, holy
Tell
fucking
people.
shit.
That's about right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's like the drummer.
He was a drummer in this movie called Black Roses that I'm kind of obsessed with.
And
or
he was in
whatever.
Vanilla Fudge.
Yeah, so he had all of his real bands, stuff that, and he had like drum heads and sticks and that and everything. And I kind of do like a once over, like the drive by to see like what he's signing, how much is he charging, blah blah blah. So then after him was Rudy Sarzo, who always
nice guy.
very nice guy.
That's a big deal.
Always
I met him at
had
Chiller.
always
Good
had
dude.
traffic going. Always had like 5 to 10 people on his line.
I would have talked to him in Spanish just
Yeah.
to kind of
Keep it real.
let him know.
Then you had Mark the Animal Mendoza from Twisted Sister was over there, so he was signing shit. So then I take the Black Roses CD out or whatever. I'm just like, fuck, man. I'm like, is this guy gonna be like a dick? Because like you never know. Like, what the fuck? I ain't fucking signing this or whatever. So I'm just like, fuck it, just nut up. This is why I'm here. Let's just fucking meet this asshole and fucking blow money to fucking get this guy to sign this
I'm
shit.
sure
I'm
he's
like,
listening.
times.
yeah. So I go over there and like the guy's wearing these fucking like hippie fucking purple fucking shades, and I'm like, is this dude even alive? Like
Does
he looked like fucking Bernie Lomax sitting there. Like I didn't even know if the guy was alive.
Does he still
or
look
whatever.
like a gay magician?
Yeah,
He had,
pretty
like,
much.
the chop top look from Texas Chainsaw too, with the glasses.
Yeah, like that. So he's like, hey,
Far Out fan.
yeah, he's like, hey, brother, what's up, man? I'm just like, oh, hey. I was like, I got kind of something weird for you to sign. And I hand him this, and he opens it up or whatever, and he takes out the pen, and he's just like, what's your name? And he starts filling it out, and then he just like mumbles something, and the only word that I can understand was pussy. So I'm just like, either this guy called me one, he wants one,
No, he called you one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I'm just like, excuse me? And he's just like, Big Pussy was in this movie.
Oh,
and I was like,
okay. You're right.
Yeah. I was like, I remember that. And he's just like, and then he points to the fucking guy, give this guy $25. And I was like, nice meeting you too, sir. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, what a
Like a
fucking
fucking
planet
factory.
conventions are. What a planet.
Love
it
'em.
is interesting.
Yeah,
you could people watch.
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
even have to buy anything.
No.
If you've never been to one, I actually suggest you got to go. Like, at
We
least
brought
once.
the conventions up with Damien Maffei from The Strangers the last episode, and I told my Toxic Avenger story again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the fucking guy dies.
he did.
And he was supposed to be at a convention that next day, too.
Yeah.
It was
he was
fucked
going to
up.
hustle some other guy.
And
his
fucking
girlfriend.
and fucking Margot
never got
Kidder
to.
was supposed to be at Eternal Con in like 2 weeks, and she fucking passed away.
The irony of that name.
You know?
Guess not.
Could have made one more like $200 score before they passed on.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Well, not the toxic.
Now you just got to
Avenger.
fucking meet the Last Dragon for $60 again, you know?
to
You never
each-
know if it could be your last time. Get that autograph.
Well, yeah.
Not to laugh at. You know.
My shit is probably worth so much money now that he's dead.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did with it because
Back up the Brinks truck.
Sell it back to fucking Lloyd Kaufman.
I'll be like, Lloyd, how much you give me for this?
Nah.
I just can never get over the fact that I was like, I love the Toxic Avenger. And I was like, I love 1 and 4. He's like, yeah, I was in 2 and 3. Just fucking kills me. Oh my god! Of all
That's funny.
all the ones right there, but yeah, I mean, what a planet! I took a picture of that because I think It's a good Instagram picture.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Black Roses, you should
Awesome.
because
It's so good.
fucking
Top.
awful.
It's one of a kind.
It's top of the heavy metal horror movies that I would,
It's definitely in the conversation.
Was there
up
blood in that movie?
I don't know. There was a lot of like high hair. That was about it.
But like, because like even
that
when
fucking Herb, the main guy, and it just is so funny. It's worth it just for
Yeah.
that. His
But-
clothes, his shitty acting.
but another Damien right there.
Yeah. Yep.
That guy.
Yeah.
The singer
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
oh,
band.
the singer of the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it always synonymous, or maybe?
Carmine wrote all the music, right?
I think so. Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Speaking of backing up the Brinks truck,
So I was like, is this licensed?
Yeah.
Let me check this SKU for me.
is this a bootleg?
That actually reminds when my friend Jeff, who's in Black Label Society now, we had him on the show, episode something.
Stage potato.
Blasco, Ozzy Osbourne's
Yep.
bass player, is his manager. So I was like, fuck, this is my chance to get an Ozzy autograph, you know? So Jeff's like, get me something.
Oh, is
I'll
this
give
the
it-
vinyl?
I'll give it to... No. I got that signed by Zach.
Oh,
No Rest for
finally.
the Wicked.
Okay.
Yes, at the last show, I think.
No.
That was a whole story, too, but anyway.
Yeah.
But, I gave a CD booklet of an Ozzy CD. I didn't want to give one of my records covers because if Jeff gave it to the who the fuck, he might just lose his shit and
Yeah.
not give a fuck about some douchebag like me that wants his Ozzy autograph. So I'm like, I'm just going to give a CD booklet. So I gave him, those CDs like the Essential
Yep.
Ozzy Osbourne, Essential Chicago.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jerry.
Shout out to Jerry.
It was like the Essential Ozzy, which are like barely, they look like they're not even like licensed really and shit
No,
like
yeah.
that. So he gives it to Blasco and Blasco's like looking at it like 3 times, like, what the fuck? Is this like a real,
Yeah.
like, is this guy giving me like a bootleg fucking thing to fucking get autographed by,
Yeah.
like
Like
but
Ozzy would care.
it was legit. And I got my autograph.
There you go.
Ozzy wouldn't even notice.
I think it's it.
I
think
Ozzy has
Blasco
like
could have just signed it and thrown it right.
I think
Jeff's bag,
Ozzy
and
just
I
has like a
wouldn't even know.
stamp. He just like fucking stamps. He doesn't even sign anymore.
It really tails off. You see the O, and then it just it could be
you see
anything.
the O and it just keeps
The O's
going.
there, so I knew it was
Nice.
legit. I got the first letter right.
I can't believe they're doing no more tours. So
Again,
yeah,
there was a No More Tours
Yeah.
like 10 years ago, wasn't there?
yeah. I just think
Enough.
But really, it has to be. I hate to just keep saying Sharon, but it just has to be. Like, I can't imagine that he has any wherewithal to do any of these shows.
He probably enjoys it though, right?
I'm sure. I mean, if you've done it your whole life, like
Yeah.
think about how long Ozzy's been famous for,
Mm-hmm.
or in a working band. Like he's been in a band.
Was Sabbath's first was
69?
Yeah,
So what is that, like 50, 49 years? Like
that's a long time.
Like so you figure from like that, like if you're not doing that, like what are you doing? You're probably looking at it thinking like obviously you're closer to death than you are birth. So in his head, yeah, I guess you're like, wow, I want to just keep doing stuff because
You're gonna have all this free time, and you don't even do drugs anymore. So like, what fun could you have?
yeah, you don't do drugs, you can't get your dick sucked by groupies, so.
What do you think? He's just watching like old World War II documentaries on
Nice.
History Channel. I think that's his only hobby.
You could, yeah.
But
you could-
he's propped up by a lot of shit behind him too, and it's just like
He has a show with his son.
I kind of I would love because I'm going to the Slayer farewell tour and stuff like that. I do want to like I've seen Ozzy a lot, and I know if he was going to do something like cool like he never plays anything from Ultimate Sin, which is my favorite Ozzy record. Like nothing. Shot in the Dark was a huge hit. I don't even he barely plays that.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get the same fucking set list he's been doing for like so long. You're
Like
gonna get
Social
Crazy
Distortion.
Train. You're gonna get this, and
Yeah.
and they're all classics. But I mean, I just don't feel
Social
the need
Distortion.
to see it again.
That's what like seriously, they've played so many shows that I've gone to see, and it's the same fucking set list. Because Social Distortion releases one album like every 8 years.
Bands that have been around a long time, like The Cure, gets it. You go see The Cure, they'll pick a certain era of Maiden does stuff like that too. They get into some real deep cuts that they never used to play probably on the first time they toured with it and shit like that. They get it. These are fans that want to hear some new shit. But
Yeah, I went to go see, like I said, the Iron Maidens, and they asked do you want to hear Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner or Alexander the Great?
Ooh.
And
Wow.
we were all like, Alexander the Great. I mean, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner
I would have
won.
voted. Yeah.
I know, because like we never.
I would have gave him like, wow. Drop that.
Yeah.
I want to hear Rhyme.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's an epic song. Wow, they play that one, huh?
Yo, they're
The full 13
the
minutes, whatever.
It's actually
the fuck.
13 minutes and 49 seconds.
Yes, I knew I was close.
Because I remember buying Power Slave and seeing that and thinking like, whoa. I don't know. For some reason, it was impressive back then. Like those bands that just, Metallica was one of those, Megadeth, Maiden. They just had like 8 songs, but their songs were like 100 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it was completely impressive. I'm like, whoa. And Rhyme always stuck out because it was 13 minutes and 49 seconds.
I think I heard that first. I remember getting them Live After Death, like heavy, and then getting a lot of their other stuff. So the live version of that song on that album, all those Power Slave, everything. Live After Death's probably the greatest live album ever made, in my opinion. Anyway.
I don't even like live albums, though.
I don't either, but I love that one. And probably because it's sentimental, because it got me into Maiden a lot.
Yeah.
I had it on cassette. I got it on my fucking back patch right now. You know what I mean? I love that record. So, but other than that, I get you. Like, I don't feel the need for it.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe because we go to shows, and it's different. Like, I can't imagine listening to a live record and being satisfied. I would just rather listen to the record or go see them.
There's a handful that are really amazing live albums.
Very
but
few.
It's the exception to the rule, I think, for the most part. Like
Well,
Deep
that's-
Purple, made in Japan, is like fucking amazing. There's a few. There's a Priest. What's the Priest one? Unleashed in the East.
Yeah.
There's a few. But yeah, I agree with you.
What do you think of live albums, Parker?
I mean, with me, I remember my favorite one was always friggin' Live Ship Binge and Purge, But I mean, I think the reason why I like that was because they kind of jumped back into like the older stuff. They did like a Ride the Lightning, like Master of Puppets medley, and touched on like a lot of the songs that they didn't really play that much. But I have noticed that they have been going a little bit back into the catalog when they've been like in Europe and shit like that. I mean, they might not be playing like the full songs, but like maybe they'll play like 5 minutes of Ride the Lightning or like a couple minutes of like Escape or shit like that.
Did you enjoy that so much that you decided not to see them for the next 28 years?
Yeah. I'm on strike, man.
I'm thinking of all bands he's never seen.
They got to come here, man.
They always come. They've been coming here
Like
for the
the
last.
No, I
Farmingdale?
mean here.
Farmingdale?
Like down here.
Yeah.
They could jam in the unfinished room like me.
No doubt.
Is that where you jam?
In the unfinished room, yeah.
Where's there an unfinished room?
Over there. Through that black door next to the Shocker poster.
Really?
Yeah, that's the unfinished room. That's where the drums are. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
But we were actually at the last week. I had like a little, at your show. I had a little drummer circle going. So it was me, Paulie Wozniak, Mike Tambo, Vito, and Chris Nolte, and we were actually geeking out over Pearl Jam Unplugged because I mean Dave Abruzzi is just. I mean that guy took the album 10 and made it like 100. What he did to those fucking drums, and we were just geeking out just about how going back to like the drums, like I was saying, like with Helmet, how like you could have like kind of like a foundation, but then you bring in a new guy. Like with me, like I love Dave Lombardo. Dave Lombardo will always be Slayer. But when fucking Paul Bostaff came in and I heard that fucking opening fucking track with fucking off of Divine Intervention, which is Killing Field, I was just like, who the fuck is this guy and how many limbs does he have? Because with Lombardo, it was always just, like Dave the feet. And like Bostaff, I thought was best of both worlds. He had the feet and the fucking hands. So, not that really gets into live albums, but
yeah. Hey, listen, by all means.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, I don't remember Bostaff being on Divine Intervention, was he?
Yeah, that was his first one.
That's
that
where
was
it
his
was?
first record that he was on, yeah.
God damn. So Decade of Aggression, and then from there, so.
Yep.
Well, yeah. You got the
Fucking
you got
reading
those-
glasses, man. I like it.
Old Man River.
Hell yeah. All right, so this past month we did the brackets, and I decided to do 1994 because I was 16 and shit just popped off then. It was kind of like the beginning of a lot of things. And as usual, Red River Podcast Facebook group really just disappoints me in every single way. When I pick these,
This was the worst one.
was it?
Yeah. It was.
I have no faith. Yeah, okay. The more people that are in the group, the more chances that I guess it's always going to be splintered. But the hip hop brackets really just murdered me because I'm thinking like, as I'm adding these 16 albums, I'm thinking like, okay, well, I'll do Mercy Killing of Beastie Boys. You know, I'll add in Ill Communication. It was a great record.
Sure.
But it just goes to show you that if you're not well versed in hip hop, as soon as you see the name Beastie Boys, that's what you're gonna pick.
That's why I didn't even vote. I was like, I don't fucking know who any of these guys are.
Like that Beastie Boys album could have been easily in the rock category, even the alt rock. It could have been like that. That's how like not fully hip hop it is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's great. But you telling me that shit's better than Nas? Fuck out of here. No.
It's one of those situations where, listen, first and foremost, I do this as time consuming as it is to my life, which I spend way too much. You know, but it's just to get the name still going, the group going, to get conversations, and it's fun.
It is fun.
It's fun to just
So
kind
just
of
opinions.
You know, exactly. But Jesus fucking Christ, like maybe it's because we've listened to everything. You know, like I've listened, whatever goes up, I've listened to those albums.
Right.
If you're looking at fucking, you know, the last battle was Nas. It was a Beastie Boys Ill Communication versus. Was it Illmatic?
I believe so, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah, it beat
Yeah.
Illmatic.
No, Ready to Die.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
So it was Biggie.
Biggie beat Illmatic, and then Biggie was against
Yeah.
Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
That's right.
Unfucking real. Because the Beastie Boys even beat fucking Gangstar Hard to Earn. Like, it's just
It shouldn't have beaten any one of those.
It shouldn't have
at
beaten
all.
any one of those goddamn records. But
No.
it goes to show you, it's that name recognition where you see it.
And everybody, knows the Beasties. They love the Beasties.
Everyone but Parker and Sarah
I
Parker.
forgot you hate them.
That's why we didn't vote.
You
That's
abstained.
why we did.
I'll
protest
text you
vote.
guys and ask you who I should vote
I've
for.
never.
There you go.
I told Sarah I've never seen a couple go for the third option more times. Than
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what is
Some of
going?
those third options are funny.
I love it.
I wanted
As long
to.
as Everclear wasn't the third option, I'd go for it.
I wanted to make it
Make it
topical.
Billy Joel.
Yeah.
No,
See
fuck
what he
that.
does.
Fuck that shit.
Downeaster Alexa.
Yeah.
But yeah, just whatever. There was a lot of great matches. A lot of great records came out in 1990.
And the rock one was Weezer.
Well, I just
was
want to
that-
say, to go back to it, I think Gangstar for me is my favorite hip hop record of 1994. Obviously, Nas is the second, and Biggie's was number 3.
Those are 3 massive.
Masterpieces.
Yeah.
Like
Perfect.
it's almost like you're talking like the Led Zeppelin, Beatles.
All in that year too, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it just, I think Nate said it best. You put on those records, and if you don't feel like robbing someone,
That was
you
perfect.
something's going on. Something's wrong with you. If you don't you put that shit on, you're like,
Get
God
amped.
damn, I got
Yeah,
to fucking murder someone right now. And then the rock one just went up. The last one was like Weezer's Blue Album versus 9 Inch Nails' The Downward Spiral.
I voted 9 Inch Nails.
Me too.
'Cause I'm just not a Weezer fan.
Yeah, and I get it. And once again, it's 9 Inch Nails is another recognizable name, but I don't think people remember anything after Head Like a Hole.
Well, that Downward Spiral was the last thing they did that I was remotely interested in.
Yeah.
Either I moved on from it or they changed. I don't know what it was, but that's the last time I gave a shit
It's
about
not
them.
you, it's me.
Exactly. But like that, it's a great, it's almost like a concept record piece that works one track. And, it's not just like a collection of songs. It works together really well. Every song on it.
It's dark.
Yeah.
Hurt was on there, which when you really break down Hurt as a song, amazingly written,
Depressing.
super effective. Just like the whole part of it, just like so honest in those lyrics. But to me, Weezer's Blue Album is one of the best albums ever on the planet. Songwriting, melody, everything, 10 perfect songs ever. Like, as a songwriter, I look at those and it's just like, holy fucking shit. Everything that I could ever want in a song is in any of these 10 right here. And then I would have picked, obviously, Pavement, which I knew was going to get knocked out real quick. Crooked Rain. And then my third would have been Portishead Dummy, which was
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the best albums of all time.
I'm glad it did get a lot of love, though.
Got a lot of
people
love.
had good things to say about it.
Life-changing to me.
Yeah.
Life-changing to me because nothing sounded like that since or before, during. Like, Dummy was just unfucking believable.
I wonder who's going to put out an album next, them or Tool. Portis out of Tool. Who's going to win the race of who's fucking laziest?
I think Tool's going to win.
Yeah, well, they're already in the studio. Like,
yeah.
What you ever wonder, like, what Beth Gibbons and what they do for like money? You think it like ran out? Like they made three albums and Alive, right?
Yeah. Well, they made 2 albums, and then after 1997 they waited till 2013.
Right.
But yeah, there was the 2 albums, the live album, and then I think she put out a solo record. And Jeff works. I'm sure they all work somewhere along the way, but
I got a bunch of killer Andy Smith mixtapes.
Yeah,
that guy does great shit, man.
It's
good DJ.
It's life changing.
Yeah.
Like when I heard Dummy, it changed my life the way a few records have. Like I just never heard anything like it. It's fucking perfect. Like if I was on a desert island, it would be one of those albums that I put on. It's dark. It's the perfect line between just like female awesome vocals, smoky guitar, and beats. It was like hip hop beats.
Yep.
Like just fucking fantastic.
She's got the one of a kind voice.
Yeah.
You know, nobody sounds like her.
And in 1994, I remember seeing Weezer it was the first time, and in my head I was thinking like, man, like what are they going to play? They only have one album, and the album's like, I don't know, 30 minutes long at best. And I was so fucking wasted. I saw Weezer in 1994, and I was so wasted I don't remember anything. I just remember they came out to Magnum PI, and I don't remember any of the show. I don't remember anything. I remember being at it might have been Irving Plaza, doing heroin in the bathroom area, like in front of everyone. It's just me and my ex-girlfriend, and like we were like, I don't know, 16, and we were like, oh, okay, this is cool, and we're just sitting there, and like everyone's looking at us in horrifying disgust that we're like walking in and out of the bathroom, and we're just like, whoa, what's up with everyone? And we're like sitting there just like we're like snorting shit, got wasted, and then I just remember a friend of mine had this van, and we were all in the back wasted. He was wasted too, driving. And I just remember because my friend who was sitting in the front seat said that he's like, this dude's going to fall asleep. He said if he does, to grab the wheel. And it's funny now, the anxiety that I would feel if I was in that situation. But back then, I just didn't care. I was like, we're all wasted, like driving all over the place. And in that same van, if I may say, we were coming home from Connecticut at some party. We went to some party, and then in the morning we were in Manhattan. And I remember my friend, we'll call him Evan for now, allegedly. We were in this van, and it was in the morning in Manhattan, and I guess he went to go make a right in the wrong lane, and he rips the bumper off of the car next to him. And this is like midtown Manhattan, and everyone stops. And we have so many fucking drugs in the car that we would have gone to jail for definitely, we would have been fucked. And as soon as we heard this bumper rip off of this car at like 9 in the morning, Manhattan, like everyone's going to work, we're coming home from Connecticut. He looks at all of us. He's like, "What the fuck should I do, man? What should I do?" And we're like sitting there, like, "Go!" And he fucking takes off. And the whole goal was to make it to the, I guess it was the Manhattan Bridge or whatever. Like,
it's like the Warriors, the movie.
And we fucking go, and the whole time we're driving, we keep looking back to see if we see any fucking cops behind us. And the cops never came. We just left. We allegedly might have ripped this guy's bumper off.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but
those motherfuckers.
Our lives would have been completely different if we would have gotten busted then, because we were so. I was probably like 17, and it wasn't until like a few years later that my career ended.
Yeah.
But like, holy shit, we just fucking. And by the time we started getting to like Long Island, we were so happy that we all like took bumps of shit, and we were like, all right, cool.
You would have had like a whole sleeve of Misfits tattoos by then. The sentence you would have got, you would have fucking done your whole forearm.
Yeah, it was wild. I don't know. That's what happens, I guess so. But yeah, anyway.
Life on the street.
I saw Weezer 94. It was great.
Weezer, back to Weezer from that.
Back to Weezer. So, all right. So before the show ends, we're just going to, we're kind of like at the midway point. Actually, we're not really because it's not June.
Almost.
We're almost there.
Close
so
enough,
we're going to talk about
motherfuckers.
our favorite things of 2018 so far, whether it be TV shows, Netflix, movies, albums, and shit like that. So, Parker, if you want to just kick off whatever you have.
TV wise, still into Goldbergs. Love the Roseanne. The fact that that's back. I've been watching that.
How is that?
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's they've been bringing back a lot of the older characters, which is pretty funny.
How do they do two Beckys?
She was in the first, I think, 3 episodes or 4 episodes.
Who is she? Becky.
Yes, they brought
OG Becky.
Huh?
OG Becky.
Well, no, OG Becky is still in. The second Becky came back. Funny enough, because
That's the
she
Scrubs Becky.
Yes,
Scrubs Becky.
the pretty Becky. We'll call her
exactly.
that. Yeah,
She is.
yeah.
Let's be honest.
Sarah Chalk, right?
Yeah.
Weird last name. Anyway, so she came in because she wanted to adopt a kid because she couldn't have a kid. So OG Becky was going to have a kid. Blah blah blah.
She already sounds good.
Yeah.
Can't get knocked up.
Yeah.
I like it.
So OG Becky found out that she was too old and couldn't have kids or whatever. So then Hot Becky left, and that was the end of Hot Becky. But the show's still good. I still enjoy the show.
All right.
I started watching this show that I think it's now. And
Wait, let's go back to the Goldbergs.
Yeah.
You don't find the new episodes kind of like not as good as the old ones?
A little bit. I mean, I think Adam, the young kid, is kind of in like that weird phase of his
Puberty?
life now. Huh?
He's in
Puberty.
that,
Yeah,
he's in that Fred Savage phase.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
his voice all fucked up?
Yeah,
now?
well, just like his voice and his face. I don't know. He's like a weird. I mean, he was a weird looking kid to start
He
out with. But
he started talking extra weirder as the shows went on.
Yeah.
Like he was putting some kind of like affect on. But the show's so brilliant with its the mom is the shit.
well, I mean,
She's-
I used to love her in Reno 911. She was great too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
But okay, yeah. To me, like I like the older ones.
Yeah, I mean, with me, it's just like the T-shirts that he wears and the friggin' poster on it. I mean, the last episode it was like a real genius episode. It was awesome. So, but there's this show on Prime that I've been watching called Bosch, and I think it's on the 4th season. And it's just like a typical like crime drama, like shit like that. But it's like got like a couple guys from Lost was in it. And funny enough, the villain on season 1 is Jason Gedrick from Iron Eagle fame. So I was into that.
Wow,
shit.
Gedrick's still alive?
Yeah, I love. Yeah, he was like a scumbag in this. It was pretty great because I've never seen him as like a scumbag phase.
Just in time for Memorial Day.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
that's
Chappie.
it. That's it. 7 Seconds, which was on Netflix, I think. That was a miniseries. Did you see that, Sam? Or no?
No, but Karen started watching it, and I know Sarah, your wife.
Yeah,
really
very
likes it.
good. Yeah, that was good. And then tomorrow, Toys That Made Us actually premieres tomorrow, which I fucking love that. So I'll be all over the fucking Transformers episode. and then Glow. I fucking loved Glow. That's coming back soon, so I'll be all up in that. And then theater wise, the last thing that I saw was A Quiet Place. I love that.
Don't ruin it.
Yeah, I love
Yeah, I've
that.
seen that.
Did you? You did like it?
Oh, yeah.
I gotta watch it, man.
Yeah.
I just haven't had a chance, and I need to see it in the theaters.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to see it at
Time's
home.
running out. I
I
think, right?
know.
Yeah. And then what was? Oh,
You
and
have
then,
a showing of that shit.
There you go. And then You Were Never Really Here. I saw that, and that was
I
good.
wanna see that.
That was good. That was
Joaquin
dark.
Phoenix?
That was very. It reminded me a lot of Taxi Driver. It was
Okay.
just like you weren't sure if it was like a good guy, bad guy.
Right.
The music was great. It was just a dark movie. I loved it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
You good?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Let's see. I haven't seen a lot of TV. I've been watching a lot of movies, a lot of documentaries. I was on a kick too. I'm into documentaries, even more than comedy specials. I love documentaries about comedy, about the process of comedy, like comedians talking about each other and stuff, and how they come up with jokes, and because it is like a daunting profession to go into. To go, not even like being a band on stage, to be up there all by yourself and think that your thoughts are
Former
good enough
guest.
to make a room of people.
Former guest
Laugh.
Neil Rubenstein. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. It's
Yeah.
it's such a
It's like a one-man
It's
band.
scary,
you know?
man.
Yeah.
It takes balls to do that shit. So I love stuff like that. Jerry Seinfeld did one, I think, called Comedian. a few years back. Had Colin Quinn, all those comedians for lack of a better term. But I ended up seeing like 3 in a row. Misery Loves Comedy, Dying Laughing, and the best one was Can We Take a Joke, which is kind of like focusing on the art of comedy in this ultra PC social justice warrior era we're in, where they don't know what lines to cross, or if they should, or they get in tremendous backlash. It's kind of hurting the business.
Vice did a piece on it yesterday. They talked to like Judy Gold and a few other people where certain comedians don't even want to go to colleges,
right?
Because they're like, they go and they're doing their fucking routine, and like these kids are like fucking angry.
Yeah. They're just jokes, man.
Yeah,
and jokes help more than they hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To have people laughing together. But Bill Maher always does a good job tackling this shit, like week after week on his show.
Yeah.
He always, like on his end statements and stuff, he gets it. But
yeah, and I get the hate that he gets because he's such a douche.
Yeah.
But I love him.
He's on point. He's just got like a delivery that's just
he has a delivery that's
smartest
like,
guy in the room.
Yes.
I get it. But he's on point and he's funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are all worth a watch. But, yeah, especially Can We Take a Joke? Real good. What else? As far as music, a lot of good music came out this year. Czarface meets, what was it? Metaface?
Yeah.
Megaface. The MF Doom.
Yeah.
One of my favorite hip-hop albums of the year, along with Apathy, the one he put out this year. At the Gates just put out a new album last week. That's phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah. I don't. Do you like them?
I like them. I
Yeah.
just didn't know they put out a new record. I'll listen to it.
A lot of people, I don't think, did know. Like, I didn't even know they were coming out with anything, and I read all those fucking bullshit metal. That's my
Same,
whole page
yeah.
is like,
Yeah.
metal sucks, metal injection, metal this, metal that. But I listened to it. It's great. That and I like the Burn the Priest that came
You
out.
All the
like
covers.
It's it's mostly covers. I think maybe there's
No, it's all covers.
yeah.
It's all covers.
The SOD cover's fucking awesome.
Yeah, the only cover I didn't really
Kill
like,
yourself.
and it's because I'm a huge Quicksand fan,
Mm-hmm.
but Dine Alone was just a little brutal to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the fact that they picked that because I love Quicksand and I love that song. But I just don't think it's in Randy's wheelhouse.
Yeah, no, I get that. You know what? Like a lot musically, more than the vocal, musically, some of the songs, especially like the SOD's track, the drummer just fucking, he killed Adler
yeah.
rips that shit. Like he made it. It's not just like a regular cover. He was putting little fills in there that were fucking intense.
And what I like about that too, actually, is like you figure they started off as Burn the Priest.
Mm-hmm.
They had to change their name, so they become Lamb of God. They put out record after record. They're doing their thing. And I don't know, to me, I just thought it was a smart move or like something unique to make people talk, that they go back to do, instead of doing an album of covers as Lamb of God, they're like, oh, we'll go back to Burn the Priest and we'll put this out. I just like that.
Yep.
So
that was cool. It was a good album. Like I said, covers, but yeah, it's worth a listen. Other than that, I read a couple of books. I read Two Imaginary Boys. The Lol Tolhurst from The Cure wrote a book, who was a founding member of The Cure. He was in it up to, I want to say just before Disintegration. I think he did all the albums up to Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. He was on. And it was great because I've read a million metal bios, but I never knew a lot about Robert Smith. Kind of a quiet guy or whatever. Kind of a badass too. The guy likes to fight, throw down.
Yeah.
Big soccer, football fan. Like all this shit. I'm like, really? But he threw the hands, he threw the bones, fucking back in the day.
that's it, man.
Which is just, you see him in a different light. But a lot of the backstory about that band that I had no idea, because they don't put their shit on Front Street really, at all. So very good book, and I'm reading another book which I'll post on the website about the history of hip hop. The name's escaping me right now, but basically, all the stuff, the early stuff in the Bronx, Kool Herc, all the early gangs, Ghetto Brothers, Black Spades, all that shit, that whole era in New York, all the graffiti, all that stuff.
It is nice to get to a certain age where a lot of things are answered.
Yeah.
You look back now, everything eventually is going to get a documentary about it.
Yes.
And you live long enough, it's like 2018, and it's like you see all these documentaries, and you're like, oh shit, finally something on this.
Yes.
You know,
I can't keep up, actually. Like,
No.
there's so much. That's why I love reading, too, because it's just a lot of stuff I grew up listening to and finally learning a lot of backstory, things I never would know otherwise. You know, that you can't even explore in a documentary because you have an hour and 20 minutes versus a 500-page or 400-page book to express.
Can't read, man.
You can do it, man.
I just can't. I don't have the.
You can't, like the Selden school system failed, or like you can't, like you just don't want to.
I just can't concentrate on a book.
You can do it.
I don't know.
You should get high.
Yeah, that'll help.
Go see Weezer, you know.
There you go.
See,
Weezer's probably got a. I bet you somebody wrote a book right by now. You interested in the history of Weezer? But yeah, good stuff, good books. That's about it.
Okay.
What do you got?
I got. Let me see. Okay.
Well, I didn't mention too, and I don't know if you were gonna. You hit me to the Evil Genius.
Yeah, I'll do that now. So
Yeah.
let's do. I'll do TV shows. So for Netflix, for me, let's go there. Evil Genius is like a 4-part docuseries. And I remember the story. The story was the pizza box. No, the pizza.
Did you see it, bro?
No, I know what it is. I haven't watched it yet, though.
I think I saw like the original story on America's Most Wanted. And, you know, this dude robs a bank. He has a bomb around his neck like fucking Rutger Hauer.
Nice.
Is that Deadlock?
Yeah, I love it.
You know, and he's all casual. He's walking in, hands the fucking person a note saying, you know, I forget what the note said. But then the cops are called as he's like driving away. And then the news footage in the beginning is just him sitting like Indian style, telling the cops that he has a bomb around his neck and that it's going to go off. Like I didn't think they were going to show the explosion, but they did.
They did.
Oof.
Yeah, that was intense.
Yeah, they totally, because you're waiting. You're like, oh, you know.
You're listening to this man talk for 1 second.
And I think once it started beeping, I think he started getting nervous, right?
Faster,
yeah. So I think, you know, and then from there, this was 2003, the 4 parts just tell the story, which I remember the beginning story. I didn't follow it to the end because the story extends over to like 2010, maybe 2013. I mean, I love true crime stuff. I can't get enough of it. Serial killers, all that kind of stuff. And this has
Netflix
everything.
is chock full of that shit. It's like 50% of their programming is serial killers. But this story is like an onion that peels back.
It's 4 episodes, and it's a fucking onion where truth is stranger than fiction. When you start peeling
every revelation, you're like, what?
Yeah.
How?
And the people who made the movie were the Duplass brothers, who did Creep 1 and 2 and that HBO show, Room, whatever, 104.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, no,
very
that's
cool.
Good. Highly recommend.
Very fucking good. If you're listening to this, you know, with your pants around your ankles or whatever you do while we do this show.
Watching that hand job ghost porn.
Watch that. Another show that I can't get enough of is The Last OG. So this is Tracy Morgan's return after fucking 30 Rock. It's created by Jordan Peele.
Yes.
Who's just hitting home run after home run. And the concept is, in the beginning, this dude, Trey, sells crack. He's living in Brooklyn, you know, whatever, circa 2000. Selling crack on the block, gets busted, comes home after 15 years, and Brooklyn is just not what it used to be. You know, if you know Brooklyn now, like, definitely that's the case. And you would think it's a one-trick pony, but there's so many...
Like fish out of water, kind of.
Yeah, there's so many avenues that they go through, and the writing is super smart. Like, I'm watching this laughing out loud. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm laughing out loud at certain parts because the characters are so great. Cedric the Entertainer is just, like, every character is, like, none of them are annoying. They're all fucking fantastic. And it just shows a guy going back home, trying to do something different, make a change in a neighborhood that isn't what he remembers. 15 years is completely...
Big difference in
big
that
difference.
fucking borough, man.
Yeah. Another thing that I want to mention from Netflix was the end of the fucking world.
Haven't seen that yet.
Very good. Super.
No.
Super. Just. So it's this girl, young girl, young boy. He's like he wants to be a serial killer. They meet each other, and I guess she kind of likes him, and he's like trying to. He follows her on whatever adventure she wants to go on, which is usually crazy and like has like bad intentions, because he's trying to kill her. He's like he's like a budding serial killer, and he's never felt anything for another girl. And somewhere along the way, there's a lot of nods. Like if you see them the way they're dressed on the cover, they're dressed like True Romance, fucking
okay.
Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette.
Yeah, what are their names in that?
Alabama and Clarence.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's great. And I'm going to mention Black Mirror Season 4 premiered in the beginning of the year. 6 episodes. People that don't watch the show, I don't understand what the fuck you're waiting
That's
for.
me.
Yeah?
It's not because I don't want to. I just, I'm going to binge watch it. It's going to happen. The dice will, the domino will drop. The fall, I'll just watch them all in a row, but I haven't done it yet.
It's fucking brilliant. This season,
I've heard nothing but good things from people that I totally trust. I'm sure I'm going to love it. Just haven't seen it.
This season was great. My favorite episode was the Hang the DJ episode, which is a nod to the Smiths. The song Panic. Right. If that doesn't make you want to watch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
I'm there.
It's very good. It's just all about like the dark side of technology, and it's an anthology series. So if you don't like one episode, you go on to the next.
Right.
Can't beat that. So now I'm going to go to some albums I want to shout out. Like you mentioned the Czarface.
Mm-hmm.
Love that one. To keep it hip-hop, I'm going to go with Prime, number 2.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Really good. It's Royce the 5'9", DJ Premier. And what I like about this record is DJ Premier handles the production, but the theme is that they sample specifically an artist. So the first record they sampled this dude, Adrian Young. So what that means is like, DJ Premier's not going through his records looking for samples. He's going through somebody's body of work specifically to make this record. I forgot who the second person that they use, but it's just great. It's fucking hip hop, the way that you probably remember it. Unless
Speaking of Royce the 5'9", what did you think of that? His new record.
It's great.
Yeah.
He's.
I liked it. The Eminem verse is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
On that Caterpillar or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So, but Prime is more my thing.
Definitely.
So.
Oh yeah.
Another hip hop record I love is the Evidence record, whether or not it's a guy from a group called the Dilated Peoples. This is another solo record that he put out.
I haven't heard that.
It's fucking fantastic. At first, it's kind of weird because he has such an interesting flow because it's just slow and it's nothing too heady, but the actual production is just great. Like you put it through and there's not a bad song. It's the best thing that he's ever done in a career that's probably like 20 years.
Wow.
So very good stuff.
That, yeah.
Do we want to talk some metal? The last Judas Priest record,
Oh yes.
Firepower,
Badass.
is fucking awesome. My favorite Priest record since Painkiller.
Yeah.
It's like
It sounds like Painkiller.
It sounds like
It's got a
Painkiller.
pair. It's got a pair.
It's got a fucking pair, man.
Yeah,
It's just It's so good.
Yep.
And it only took him getting rid of the rest of the band.
The one guy got sick. Did you read the stories about KK?
Yeah,
Man?
selling the rights.
Oh my god, that's so sad. And now he's touring with I want to say Tim Ripper Owens.
Oh,
really?
boy.
And somebody else, like a group of like knockaround metal guys playing. It's kind of that's sad.
Maybe
I was like,
cupcakes with him, man.
I was gonna hit the teardrop react on that fucking blabbermouth story right there. But anyway,
Cupcake.
Got Cupcake on the drums.
Cupcake Carey.
Another record that I love is Perfect Circle. Came out with Eat the Elephant. I love A Perfect Circle more than Tool.
No,
At this point.
no.
I do. Billy writes really great songs. I love it. Superchunk, one of my favorite alt rock bands of all time. I just saw them at Bowery Ballroom.
Great band.
Their new record, like we're talking about like 1989. Like these guys have been making records for so long, and they're still killing it. And lastly, a newer group, not a new group, but newer, called Red City Radio. They put out a record called Sky Tigers, and it's just this punk band, but it's very like roots rock, lots of cool guitar harmonies, and it's just so sing along, like immediately catchy. I'm gonna make a playlist of all these things. So if you're listening, I'm going to do a Spotify playlist, and everything that we have I'm going to compile, and it'll be like a nice 20-song playlist. So, and lastly, I'll just talk about the movies that I really dug. Okay, a movie that I keep talking about, When We First Met. You watch it?
No.
All right, so it's Adam from Workaholics. It's on Netflix, and it just I don't know. I read it, and Karen started watching it, and it didn't really hit me. And halfway through the movie, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. So it's like time travel, but the movie starts off and you kind of think, it's so hard. I don't want to give anything away, but there's time travel, and it's like this romantic comedy, but it's smart. It's not stupid. It's really fucking smart. And by the end of the movie, you're like, that was fucking really smart and fucking very good. It's streaming on Netflix. It's Adam from Workaholics and the amazingly attractive Alexandra Daddario from she's been in a bunch of shit. So very super smart movie. Probably my favorite thing that I've seen this year.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix streaming. The movie Unsane, which was Steven Soderbergh's new movie that he shot on an iPhone. He shot entirely on an iPhone. I saw it in the theaters, and this girl, she, gets admitted into this psychiatric fucking place, and the whole movie you're thinking, is she crazy or is someone really trying to kill her? That's basically like the movie, and it's fucking fantastic. That I can't give too much away, so I'm not going to spoil any of these. Obviously, we had Damien Maffei from The Strangers. The second Strangers, visually, soundtrack-wise, everything about it, I really enjoyed more than the original. The original was suspenseful. I just don't feel like it delivered on many things. The ending was cool, but Strangers Pray at Night, a lot of fun, super violent, great scenes, and the guy who did 47 Below and a few other movies, he directed those, did this movie. Terrifier, obviously. Damien Leone. If you want to watch a slasher movie that's unapologetic, brutal, like no questions asked, Terrifier, Art the Clown is terrifying. Like really legit a scary, like he's a scary fucking guy.
Yeah.
And lastly, a movie that I just saw, I rented on Amazon for like $5, Revenge. Okay, so Revenge is kind of like I Spit on Your Grave, but shot like beautifully. It's half French, half English. Female director, first time. It's shot like a music video, and the violence, the effects, it's so frantic. Like it is so goddamn fucking good. It's so good. Like the fucking gore. It's just a female, like just the ultimate final girl, basically.
I'm on it.
Could not recommend it more. So those are my picks of the best of 2018 so far.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah. So
Anything
now you're
else?
caught up, people.
Yeah.
Get to work.
Yeah. So we waste our lives doing this so you could skip and skip to the good stuff.
Yeah.
So, figure Siskel and Ebert are dead. Who else is there really? So some fat guy on YouTube telling you to watch something.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy completely.
Right.
So, okay, that's it. So I'm gonna make a playlist of this music, and we're all caught up. We wanted to just get this like quick, let's say 90-minute episode out. to touch base, after like
sabbatical.
After Nate Vanderwerker fucking called us out on being too lazy to record an episode. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
We're going to put this
nice
one
that
out.
someone pays attention.
It's nice that one person noticed. So look out for that double feature. Look out for that double feature of Terrifier and Strangers. Oh, shit. Also, let me just read this thing. So this dude, Ian Kaufman, sweetheart, he's in the Facebook group. He listens to the podcast. He sent me something because he started doing some kind of like clothing company. So what's it called? He gave us like a 10% off code. I'll post that. But it's Rustwood Apparel. Rustwood, WOOD Apparel. I don't know how to spell apparel, but you can figure it out. Super cool guy, sweetheart. He's putting together some like clothing, and he's from Connecticut, and he's cool, man. So check out his stuff. Check out Inked Up merch as usual. Our boy Dan Turr always has some cool stuff. Check out Nautilus Coffee. Our buddy Hugo makes that. Nautilus. Mm-hmm. And that's it. We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, later.
Bye.